Hello, everybody. How you doing this week? How's everyone? Hello, Brandon. Hello, Michelle. How are you guys?
Hello. Doing good.
Hello, everybody. How you doing this week? Oh, you're hard to hear, Michelle.
Oh, sorry. I was having a bunch of feedback, so I just had to do a little bit of editing there. But yeah, hi. How's everybody?
Good. How's everybody here?
Yes, how are our chat? How's our little Oracle Intuitions fam?
Yeah. So it's been a crazy week, but we are so happy to have Michelle back, and that, after her appendicitis and the surgery, and it's been a crazy week. And we're actually going to ask again for prayers, because now my mother and Michelle's grandmother is in the hospital. She fell and broke her hip the other day. So if we could get some extra prayers for that, we would truly appreciate it. And also, I don't want to say the name out loud or anything like that, because I don't even think she would be watching, but just prayers possibly for a family. This is a childhood friend of mine. She actually lost her daughter the other day in a car accident 4 days ago. And that was really heartbreaking. I actually found out last night. So that was, it's been, this has been a month. It's been a month. It's been a week. It's been, like a week and a half for sure. Definitely an emotional roller coaster of everything, so we're thrilled to be here. We're thrilled to be here with you guys today. That's what I'm going to say. Brandon, how's Hawaii?
It's gorgeous as ever and always. I mean, I still love it. It's an amazing place to be during any kind of lunar cycles. As we know, we're in the full moon right now, and I mean, it seems like you and your family have been going through a very clear release right now at this time, and kind of all things happening, culminating at once. I know that it's happening here a little bit differently, and I'm feeling it more on the emotional and mental level here. But there's been some really beautiful experiences. I went on a hike. It was the Kaena Point, and it was like the northwesternmost tip of the island, and it was just absolutely gorgeous. I was looking up, some really good spiritual places in Hawaii and on Oahu specifically, obviously, since I'm here. And the one thing that was said was that any hike that you go on here is just going to be an absolute spiritual experience. And they're totally right. But at the beginning of that hike, where I really wanted to go, is this Makua cave. And you drive past it and you can see this cave right on the side of the road. And it was on the west side of the island, where it's the more local side, but there's also a lot of homeless over there. And I was kind of afraid when I walked up, and we were driving up to the cave. And one of the things about caves, or sacred spaces here on Hawaii, is they call it kapu, which means forbidden, or places you don't go because they're sacred. And a lot of people are buried in these caves. And so if you go in there, basically it's like bad karma, right? You go in there, you get some bad karma. And everything in my energy field was saying, do not go inside of here. And I'm like, okay, I'm listening to it. I'm not gonna respond. I'll admire it from a distance. There it is, beautiful. Okay, let me go on this other hike here. And then I went, everything was kind of closed down. I went into the restroom, and boom, this big spider, huge, something like I've never seen before, just waiting in there. And I'm like, all right, cool. I heeded the warning. I'm protected. It's not attacking me. All right, awesome. So it's beautiful in the way that you have instant feedback from the environment and the land itself. And it's extremely humbling to feel that. I mean, I was telling my sister, I'm like, if we reincarnate, can we please come back as Polynesian or some kind of native and just be here and live here? Because this just feels like my soul, the way that the people are connected to the land. And yeah, I feel, honestly, I feel almost ashamed that I'm not like native from here and I'm getting to enjoy the area and the lands. So it's an interesting blend of feeling. It's an interesting blend, but again, absolutely love it. And you know, I'll keep sharing more fun stuff and adventures with y'all. I was thinking of doing some stuff in the Patreon network if you all wanted to come and join me there. I know we have one listener that's already over there, and it's just a lot of fun. Just like sharing really nice insights, other psychics helping other psychics or regular people. It has a beautiful vibe to it. So I'll throw the link in the chat at some point if you are interested.
Cool. I love that. I love that. So how much longer do you have to be there for?
I still have about just a little, I think it's about 2 weeks.
Oh,
I
okay.
have about 2 weeks left.
Oh,
Leaving
I thought it was a little
April.
bit more for some reason. So, okay. Yeah.
Well, who knows?
Who knows? Who knows?
Honestly, who knows? If Oahu wants me to stay here, then it will find a way to make me stay.
That's right. So, you know, and I think we've mentioned it before. We are going to be starting a secondary show. I think we're going to be doing it. We're pretty sure we're going to be doing it Saturdays. This is going to be like a secondary show where we have guests on. So it's not going to be particularly readings unless we actually bring on a tarot reader or something like that that does want to, you know, give off readings or give some readings. But this is going to be more, you know, guests, the paranormal. This could be basically anybody with a spiritual element. So this could be readers, it could be Reiki, it could be paranormal, it could be even artists, maybe even other hypnosis, you know, the whole bit, right? Like, so we're really looking forward to that, guys. I'm gonna let Brandon have some time still, you know, and enjoy Hawaii, but we will be getting, you know, more into those shows when he gets back and he gets a chance to, you know, so we can put everything together. And I'm really looking forward to it. I just want to bring up too, I actually have some podcasts that are going to be coming up in the next couple of weeks. Oh, actually, I don't think one is a podcast. I think one is just an interview for a book. But I am doing a podcast for another show. I think that's April 10th or 11th. I actually have to double check the date, but I will post that on my Facebook. So if you're not following me on Facebook, make sure you follow me, you know, either under Oracle Intuitions, or you can follow me under my name. But I think if I'm able to, I'm going to try to take the broadcast and also post it on my channel here as just an extra as well. So I'm pretty sure I can take the audio and do that, but you know, I don't want to make any promises because, you know, this is technology that we're talking about and who the hell knows. So especially when it comes to me and my technology skills someday. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. I'm also doing an interview for a book when, you know, from our past, from when I was a paranormal investigator. So, you know, just so you guys know, that is also something that you guys can ask about. It doesn't need to be particular readings. You know, when you're on the show with Brandon and I do have years and years and years of paranormal experience as well. So if that's something that you guys want, you know, us to look into, we can do that also, just so you know. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I feel like we have the full moon in Libra tonight, right? So I feel like I'm kind of looking forward to it to some degree, just simply because I know it's supposed to be a moon where you're kind of allowing your feelings to come up, and there might be some little bit of dark night of the soul issues that come through, and that's okay. Whatever, just remember to let them pass, let them flow. It's interesting. So I was talking to a good friend just actually not long before this broadcast, and we were talking about consciousness, right? And especially when it comes to relationships or, a soul connection of some way. Now, this does not need to be romantic. It can be friends, family, whatever. And, a lot of times what we have to remember is, and it, we hear it so often, but it's one of the things that I think that we tend to forget about. And it really has to do with when we're interacting with people, what is it within ourselves that we're seeing within another person that we're disagreeing with? Maybe it's the actions, maybe it's some sense of control. Maybe it's the way that they're, presenting themselves. What is it within us that needs to be released? And I think that's kind of an interesting topic to get into, even if it's just brief, because I found that, as soon as you sort of go into your own consciousness, you really stay within that present moment. Even if somebody is freaking out and yelling or doing whatever it is that they're doing, when you're staying in your own soul, let's just say that, your own soul, your own consciousness, your own present moment, we really, it's funny how fast the interaction can change with that other person. And when you stay calm and you allow your energy to not be affected by what is happening and you're listening to your intuition, so I'm going to tell you guys something. So this is sort of interesting. A few years ago, let's just say, about 10 years ago, I also used to do aesthetics. Okay. So I was in this salon. I used to work in this salon. And, if you guys have ever been in a salon, it always looks great. Right. And, it does. But I'm going to tell you something. You stick up like 50 freaking females into one room, there's issues, right? Like there's, clashes of personality and whatever. Right. And, it's very rare that everybody's like, they have smiles, but behind the scenes, it's not so smiley. And I was finding myself really being affected by this. Like I was going home and I was like miserable. I was miserable. But I also found that I wouldn't say I was being miserable to others, but I was being judgmental for sure towards others, right? Like, it was sort of one of those cases of, yeah, they're pretty, but did you see their ankles? Nay, they can't be perfect. Nay, and you were like, oh, thick ankles, or she's got a hair out of place, or, like you're being really nasty, like ultimately, but you're being really nasty. And it's not so much because it's in your persona. It is really a collective issue that's coming through. You're feeding off of other energy. So what I did is I was really recognizing this in myself, and I was noticing that my own interactions with people were starting to I just felt like I was in conflict all the time, even with myself. Like at home, I was always in conflict, like I felt like I had to not fight. And I when I say this, it's not like I'm out punching people or anything like that, but it's that, it's that energy of like, somebody says something to you and you're taking it the wrong way, or you're looking for the conflict or whatever it is. Right. And I found, I was really not liking myself as a person. I really didn't like myself as a person. I really found myself to be miserable. Right. So I decided that what I was going to do, this is going to sound funny. and it's going to sound really tedious, but it worked. So I took myself away from the salon for like an hour a day. So I was working with clients. I really kind of stopped interacting with my coworkers. Like I wouldn't sit in the lounge, you know, for instance, I would kind of go off and clean, or I'd go find something to do, or I'd read a book somewhere else or do whatever. And I found that what I started doing is I started going out at lunchtime when it was my lunch break, and I would go sit in this food court because we were in a mall, and we would, as people walked by, I would find something nice about them. Okay. And this wasn't like, it wasn't it wasn't about their clothes. Like I wasn't like, you have nice shoes, whatever it was. It was like, hey, this person looks like they're very friendly. This person has great hair. This person has wonderful eyes. This person has great ankles, whatever the hell it was, And I really worked on this. So I did this for like every day for like 2 weeks. 2 weeks I did this. And I'll tell you, all of a sudden interactions really started changing. They really started changing. And people that were coming to me and talking to me, all of a sudden their whole persona just started changing. And so I started doing this with clients, and a client would come in and, you'd be doing a pedicure, a facial, and they're just bitch, 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 bitch. And I would literally sit there and be like, kind of just send them love. Like I was, oh, you've got great facial structure, or they have the best toes in the world, whatever it was. And I started changing, this interaction. And the next thing I know, at the end of the thing, they may have walked in really miserable, but now they're walking away being like, that was the best facial I've ever had in the world, and blah, blah, blah. I can't wait to see you again. And oh my God, my day is just made and I feel amazing, and all of this stuff. And so, when we talk about consciousness, we really change that, like change your perception. Is this person really coming at you in a nasty way? Or can we change that perception? Is it how we're seeing it because there's something within our own ego that is making us see this in a particular manner? Or, is this just something that we have to take a step back from? Because somebody might be miserable. I mean, don't get me wrong. There are freaking miserable people out there, but that doesn't mean that you need to accept that energy, right? You can take that step back. You can move forward. You can allow yourself to just release it, and you can stay within your own presence, your own consciousness, and your own feeling of right now, here and now. So I just wanted to, it was just a really interesting conversation that we had. So.
Yeah, that's interesting, because that was kind of brought up in my last week as well. Somebody was, when we were out on that hike, and we'd hung out with, it was my sister and her friend, and her friend kept commenting saying, wow, you're just so positive all the time. Like, I'm like, listen, there are so many different ways to look at something. I just choose to try to keep looking at the positive, because there's positive and negative with literally every single thing that we do. And you choose what you want to see. You choose what you want to look at. And when you can choose something positive, for example, saying you have the most magnificent toes in the universe, oh my God, you really start to shift that energy in place, and you not only affect yourself and your perspective, but those around you. So there's absolutely something to it. There's totally something to it. And I'm super glad that other people can see it in others as well. I mean, we all know that person who just is always in a good mood all the time, and you're like, is it fake? Is it real? Come on. But yeah, they're totally unbothered what you think, they don't care. They literally live their life however they are, and it's not dependent on what you think of them. So it really does go to show that you can put yourself in that space.
Absolutely.
Or take yourself out.
Yeah. And, I feel like if we could just do this as, again, a conscious, right? A consciousness,
Mhm.
like everybody, being
Collective.
individual for themselves, or just
Right.
really thinking for themselves in that manner, and not being affected by, okay, what is the news saying? What is this saying? What is this politician saying? What is the person down the street saying?
Yeah.
Whatever it is, none of our business. If it's not
Mhm.
affecting me, it's not affecting me. Just let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. It's
Mhm.
ultimately, yeah. I
Look,
love,
that even rhymes.
what is his name? Jordan Peterson. He has some really great videos, and I really like some of his, his thought process, and the way he explains things. And I love the way he says it, that people tend, and it doesn't mean that not to get involved in group activities. It doesn't mean that we cannot be concerned about climate change, or whatever the current topic is. It doesn't mean that you can't be concerned about that. But when you're focusing fully on that, is your own yard clean first? And I love that.
Mhm.
If somebody is like, well, you're not being consciousness about this, you're not being conscious enough about that, you're not doing this, you're not doing that, and you're like, did you clean up your own yard? Is your own house clean first? Like, maybe focus on that. Focus on your mind, focus on your heart, focus on your soul first, before you start, digging around in other areas. That, it doesn't mean that you can't be conscious, but it doesn't mean that you focus on your own shit. It's kind of like, somebody sitting there gossiping about the neighbor down the street, her husband's doing this and she's doing that and the kids are doing this. And meanwhile, they have like 10 rugrats that are like hanging off the freaking ceiling, and, and whatever, and having 800 affairs on their own, right? Like, you can't be doing that. You can't be doing that. Like, clean up your own shit first and then move on. So
Mhm.
um
Amen.
yeah. And yeah, like Mamie said, uh that's what I always say. Look at yourself exactly before talking of others, right? Like, we have to do this. We have to do this. And I feel like if we just were to start doing this on an individual level, we'd be amazed. We would be amazed about the changes, not only on that like that massive conscious level, but individually, right? We would be so much happier. It's funny, and with me, Brandon and Michelle, actually, because I'm not, I'm one of those people, like, I want to hear about you. I want to hear about you. What's going on in your life? I don't mind if, you want to talk about your parents or your kids, or, all of that stuff. But when somebody starts talking about their neighbor's dog's fleas, the amoebas on the fleas, their whatever. And
Yeah.
I mean, like, this is so freaking far removed from me. I'm just like, the fuck? Like, I don't care. Like, just shut up.
Mhm.
Like, I want nothing to do with it, and I shut
This
it
happens
down.
a
I
lot,
shut it
though.
down so fast, because if I'm talking to you, I want to know about you. I want to know about what is affecting your environment. I want to know about what's affecting your immediate environment, for sure. But when it's like, literally, somebody from freaking planet Pluto, and the fleas on their dog shit, I don't care. Like, it has nothing to do. And it's funny how fast I end conversations. It's like, okay, well, I really got to do anything else but what I'm doing right now.
Mhm.
And I'm very upfront
I
about it. I'm very upfront about it. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I have to. This is not involving me. It's not involving you. It's not involving even anybody within your perspective. This is somebody that you don't even know, and you're still talking about them. Like, what
maybe you
the
can
hell,
give some
dude?
advice, because I always feel like I always let people just talk about that stuff, and I'm right there with you. It's like, okay, what does that have to do with you, or even I in this immediate moment? Why are we talking about this? And obviously it's pulled their attention in some way. And if they're talking about it, to me, I'm thinking that it's got to be important in some way, shape, or form if they're talking about it. But I think, I'm liking this sentiment here about, listen, if it doesn't have to do with you, I'm going to dip out of the conversation. But I honestly don't know how to do that. I don't know.
I'm very direct about it. I'm very direct about it. I'm very I know, like I've literally turned around and walked away on people, and this is what
oh my gosh,
I've got shit to do. Like I can't, right? Usually that's in group setting. I know that people have said, "Oh my God, she's rude," or "She's this," or it's like that, but it's funny because usually if I'm in that setting, I always have somebody that knows me and they'll be like, nah, she's just not interested in that shit. Like that's like you're,
That's good. At least you have somebody to back you up.
Yeah. Yeah. Usually. It's just not my thing. Or I just shut off the conversation. I'll be like, why are you involving yourself in this? I'll just ask them very directly. Why do you have to involve yourself in this conversation or in this interaction? Like how does this affect you? And it makes them think, right? It makes them think. And they're like, I don't know.
And that's your exit right there. When they're in like a brain stump, you're like, bye.
Okay. Yeah. I got some, you think about it. I got some cleaning to do. I got some of my own, whole life to live. That's not involving Aunt Bessie.
Doesn't it feel that way?
Squeeze on their shit. Like, I don't care.
Doesn't it feel that way when people are telling you stories with that sense of relevance, that it's like, it feels like you're literally putting your whole life on pause to hear this story. It feels like you're literally pausing your entire life just for whatever is happening. You're sitting here thinking, okay, like you said, Kathy, I got literally a whole life to live. So what are we doing here?
Yeah. And again, you don't mind hearing about them. I could sit there and listen to them forever, about them or whatever. I mean, but it's when they start drawing in energies that that this is what's creating their own issues, right? Because it's not so much about the issues that are involving them. They're focusing in on everything but them.
Right.
It's easier to focus on, freaking Fluffy and his crap than it is to focus in on you.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. Easier to be distracted. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Speaking of distraction.
I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, so I was just thinking we should probably do some readings.
Yeah, I'll have to hop off right at 12 my time. So I've got about an hour and 15.
Okay, that works well. Yeah, because I think Michelle has some things to do too today. Perfect. And we do have one already. Naomi has actually donated. So do you want to run down how we do the donations and everything, Brandon?
Yeah. So we appreciate, it's not required, but we do appreciate your donations here. It does put you priority at the top of the list. So you are going to get a guaranteed reading on today's show if you do donate. All that money goes and funnels right back into the show. We advance it, pay for it regularly. So that's where we're going. If you're worried about it, it's literally going right into the show. If you do not donate, you will be put on a lottery list. That lottery list will be generated by a random number generator, and your name question will be associated with a number. If that number is called, you get to have a reading on today's show. We'll be able to fulfill however many we can in the next hour and a little after an hour. If we still keep getting donations, you can donate at any time in the show. If you're worried you might not get your question asked today and you really feel like you need to have it answered, you can go ahead and donate during any time of the show, and you will get priority right away next up, wherever you are in the reading list. So again, not required. There is no required amount. It's, whatever you feel like is appropriate for yourself to donate and to give. And again, we accept them graciously. We very much thank you all. We love being here, just first and foremost, but to be given a sort of token of gratitude is puts us even more grateful and humble. So we appreciate all of you, even just being here, but thank you for the support here on the show. If you do want to book private sessions, we do have that available as well. For myself, you can find me at thedreamteacher.com. Click on the appointments tab. You can book an appointment there with me. My hours are a little bit messed up right now, just because I'm in a big time zone change. So if you do want to connect and book a session, just shoot me an email and we can work it out that way, at least until I'm here. I leave in April. So, and Kathy, you can find Kathy
at Oracle Intuition. Sorry, I was just typing to Amy. We truly appreciate your donation. I received it yesterday or this morning. Sorry, not yesterday, this morning, and very, very grateful for it. Thank you so much. So you can reach me at Oracle Intuitions either through Facebook or my website, oracleintuitions.com, or even on Instagram if you like, Oracle Intuitions _ or Oracle _ Intuitions, let me just say. So my readings are usually an hour long. They are usually either video call or phone call. That's truly your choice. I can't tell you who it was or anything like that, but I actually got to do a reading with a celebrity this week. So that was exciting and it was lots of fun. I had a really good time. And I think they'll be back. So that's pretty cool. They found me on another social media platform, and it was a real person because we did do the video call and everything. It was lots of fun. So, but it was like a complete honor for me. That's all I can say. It was a complete honor, and it was so cool. But yeah, you can reach me, on any of those platforms. I don't usually do email readings. I prefer to do either voice or video call readings. So make sure you contact me through there, and I will give you my availability, and you can go from there. So I hope that has helped. Make sure you watch the channel too. I actually have a reading I have to upload tonight. This is going to be so I did do a reading. It's not specifically for the full moon tonight, but it is kind of around the full moon. So I have two individual readings. One is going to be messages for the divine masculine, and the other video is going to be messages for the divine feminine, and they are pick a card or pick a crystal. Okay, so you'll be able to pick whichever one, and it's just messages for for guidance for you. So those are going to be uploaded. I can't upload them while we're on video chat because that would be a disaster because I would not agree with that. But they'll be uploaded tonight. They should be up there, sometime this evening. And they surprised me. I'm not really surprised by them because a lot of times, like when I'm talking about something and I'll pull a card, the card will automatically, so many of my readings, the card always matches with whatever it is that I'm particularly thinking. But these were just so dead on. And I was like, oh, here we go. These are messages that are absolutely needed for both the divine masculine and the divine feminine. Always remember too, when I do my readings, they aren't gender based. So when I say divine masculine, if you feel that you associate more with the masculine, that's absolutely fine. If you feel that you associate more with feminine, that's okay. If you feel you have a good balance between the two, which is really that yin yang energy, please watch both of them and pick you might even want to pick the dupe crystal, right? If you're picking, let's say, the amethyst in the feminine, maybe pick the amethyst for the masculine and see, where your energies are. Maybe there's messages, for you from both, or pick how you wish to choose. And it's really a timeless video. There's no set times on it. So it doesn't need to be for right now. You may even want to go back and look at it in a month from now and go, oh, wait a minute, maybe I just need to pick a different crystal this time. So, yeah. So let's get into it. And I do have a question. Nami actually did send a donation. Oh, so you guys, one of the things that we don't read on, we don't do health. Okay. We don't look into legal issues. We're not doctors. We're not lawyers. We don't pretend to play one on TV. We don't like to look particularly into third-party situations. We can look at the energy that is coming towards you as a person, as an individual. We can look into an energy that is attached to you, meaning somebody that you may have an interest in or a relationship with, but we are not going to look into a third-party situation because, you know, bottom line is it's none of our business, right? Brandon, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm doing my grounding real quick as we get
I
into
was like,
reading.
wait a minute, are you all right?
I was trying to take my time while you were talking. I didn't want to take up somebody else's reading time.
You can take my time. That's all right. What else don't we look into? We will not tell you your job, or like I don't look into we don't look into like, let's say if you're looking for love, for instance, I'm not going to tell you the person's name or where you're going to meet them or what color their socks are or what underwear they're wearing or how they're going to meet them or any of that crap. So I just don't do that. And the reason that I don't do that is simply because if somebody has the idea that they're going to be meeting somebody April 20th at a Starbucks somewhere, and this person's going to be brown hair, you know what? We can't guarantee that because that person has free will and they may not even show up at the Starbucks. But here's the thing is that during this process, okay, if we feel an energy coming in or close to you, what we don't want to do is take away from the possible energies of how this person could come to you. So here's the thing, on the way to Starbucks, you know, there could be several other things that, you know, could happen to you that is going to help produce, you know, this meeting, which is why we don't talk about it. So we will just, you know, we can pick up on the energy of a possibility of when this person will be coming into your life. But I don't look at, you know, names, birthdays, like I said, the color of their underwear, that like this kind of thing. We don't look into that. And also for careers, I prefer not to, you know, settle on a career for you. This is really your element. I mean, you have to decide what is always best for you. We can kind of give you a general idea, but, you know, again, free will comes into play. So, Nami, I don't know if we already have your question. Do we, Michelle? Michelle?
Hey guys, sorry.
Hi.
Nami's question is, she was asking about more of a general reading, but also asking more specifically if a house or moving is in her future.
Oh, say that again?
If a house or moving is in her future, alongside a general reading.
Oh, okay. Okay. You know, as soon as you said that, I actually felt something about 3 months. 3 months. I kept hearing something about 3 months, like a moving, you know, this is interesting, Nami. I almost, it could be, you know, a little faster than 3 months. It doesn't need to be 3 months in particular, but I do, that was the first thing I heard was 3 months. There's a huge transformation that I feel is kind of going on around you. It feels like there's a duality with this. Some of it is maybe not, you know, in the best energy, but right behind it is a really positive energy. I'm not exactly sure if you understand what I'm saying on that. Like, it's like things might be looking not that great on the surface in some areas, but I feel that it's almost like if you allow it to just dissipate, not to, really participate in the negative energy too much. Like, don't focus on it. Don't throw your energy towards it. I just feel this transformation. Like, I'm literally seeing like the Death card coming through, which is a very positive card in regards to transformation, like a lot of transformation happening. And this is, I don't know why I'm hearing this. Something about a garden. Are you into gardening? Are you looking for a house with a garden, or are you a gardener? Or because it's like a garden of some sort. So I don't know if you can respond in the
That's
chat.
so interesting you say that, Kathy, because I'm also picking up on some specific energy with the house, but what I'm being shown is, see, I don't know if Naomi has children or not, and Spirit keeps showing me this very childlike energy where either her children are choosing it or it reminds her of this childhood home. And I keep seeing like these places where frolicking was happening, and like it was this energy of this memory that comes through, and that says very similar to the garden to me. Very, very similar, with that very abundant childlike joy, that energy, and flourishing, which growth and garden, children, growth,
Okay.
it's all the same energy.
This is the interesting part. Amy says she's looking into 20 acres, so acres of land. So
lots of land. Okay.
Lots of land.
So lots of
I just kept
frolicking,
feeling
lots
like
of play.
garden, and like not just like a freaking flower box, but like a garden,
Yeah.
So yeah, I do feel you moving. I do feel, it's really interesting. I feel like too, this could be 3 weeks. It could be 3 weeks to 3 months. I just kept hearing the number 3. And would she say, oh, as a child, I always wanted a farm or a land, and my father has always lived on a farm as well. Okay.
Okay, so the kids do want to have a
Garden.
so it is
Okay.
around the kids.
Because I just
Look at
kept
that,
hearing
Kathy.
garden,
High five.
garden.
Psychic high five.
And and it feels like this could be where that transformation comes through, because you're going from wherever it is right now to truly being out, like in open land, a lot of grounding, a lot of, I keep seeing also like that Ace of Pentacles, where you're feeling grounded, you're feeling at home, you're feeling secure and happy within yourself. It's like you're in your element, is what I keep getting. You are in your element. You're in your true glory. You're in this place. So this is what I feel. So I do feel a move coming through. Again, timelines, it could be 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
But I keep hearing the 3, keep hearing a number 3. So I'm not sure what that has to do with, hey, that even could be 3 kids. I honestly don't know. But that's what I just keep hearing, is something about the number 3. So I hope that helps, Naomi. A general reading, like on top of that, I just feel like, you know what I keep hearing is it's like you're just present within yourself. Like you're about to be very, I don't even know the word for it. It almost feels to a degree like omnipresent, but within you, like that.
Okay, yeah.
That Ace of Pentacles, just omnipresent, like abundant. It doesn't mean that, you're going to have millions in the bank. Maybe you do. I don't know. But, but it feels like what you have, you're going to be just grateful with. Like a lot of inner grounding is what I keep getting. And this is going to be that transformation from maybe perhaps a situation or a life, whatever it is that you're in now, going into. And it just feels like it's like you're standing, what I'm being shown, it's almost like you're standing in the middle of I want to see like a field, you know, like you said about the acres of land, or what she said about the acres of land, but you're just like this, like just absorbing the energy all around is what I keep getting. So this is, it just feels beautiful.
Yeah, that was actually the first thing that I picked up, was this feeling of like being in divine sync, in divine harmony. And so, Naomi, you must be getting all sorts of those little coincidental moments, or seeing things just line up so perfectly, like getting somewhere at the exact right time, or seeing, you know, certain numbers flash before you, or being able to, it's just, you're in a divine sync right now. You're in a great synchronization with your own self, the soul, the spirit, the body, all of it feels in a proper alignment. So I think that's why the timing feels so up in the air literally right now, because it does seem like it's coming more of a moment of creation than it is a moment of destiny, if that makes sense. Because it feels like you're putting yourself in that alignment as it's supposed to be, and not any sooner or any later, so that you can continue to have this sense of just everything falling right where it needs to be, having everything have its natural place. And you being a Pisces, I find that very like a common trait with Pisces. They're either one or the other. They're in that divine sync, or they're totally out of disarray, you know, and they're like being thrown with the tides and currents of the water, and kind of being forced to go wherever they are. So sometimes they vacillate between the two, depending on where they are in their own self, their own mind. But for whatever reason, it feels really important for you to know that you are in that sort of divine synchronization. You're on that path for your own self right now. Mm-hmm. And that is what's creating the sense of unlocking things for your life. The other comment I do want to make real quick about you moving and that energy is Spirit. They literally keep showing me that your address has a new root, a new anchor. And I really, really like that. What they are cautioning against is being put, I don't know if you feel like you can't communicate with where you are or the environments you have or where you've been around. And so being at a distance, or again, having acreage, it really syncs well with your energy, because it allows a certain sense of detachment from people for them to communicate to you. And it's like this space away from others allows for the right energy to filter through. I know that seems a little strange, but I think it makes sense to you. I think you get exactly what I mean, because all the superficial stuff is going to fall away to the distance before it even gets to your house, if that makes sense. When it's important, it'll actually make its way. So it seems that you're getting much more dedicated interaction with people. And I do really feel this childlike state of wonder at this new place. So the fact that Kathy and I are both seeing it, I take that as a very good sign here.
Absolutely. Yeah, I just feel like these next few months, I guess, I you know, it's interesting. I almost feel like you're going to go from one state of mind to the other state of mind so quick. There may not even, it's like I said, transformation, but that transformation may be just so it makes it just comes so fast, so perfect, that you'll be like, oh, I don't even know who I was like a few months ago. Like, this is just such a different energy. This is, you know, I feel good. I feel grounded. I feel strong. That's exactly how I feel. So I hope that's helped, Amy.
I want to come visit the farm. I want to come visit.
Right? Is it, and are you going to have animals? Because I really like goats. So if you have a goat.
Oh, goats are so cool.
I love goats. I don't know what it is. Something about goats. I'm just like.
They're so cool. They have a good energy. Cute. They make awesome cheese.
Little baby goats.
Oh, yes. Little frolicking friends. Oh, my gosh.
All right. So, okay. I'm just going to take a quick break here, and then we'll come back. We'll be doing, you know, more of the readings. I think Michelle is probably putting the list together, and then we'll get it back up. And
do we have our little commercial thing, or are we just going to play the other one?
I don't really have a commercial thing.
I haven't built that yet. We can play the other one if you want to, like starts in. 30 seconds or however.
Yeah, as long as people don't mind that. Give me just a second. Yeah, it will be right back. Okay. All right.
All right. Sorry, y'all. I just finished breakfast because it's so early here, but I wanted to make sure I didn't have anything in my teeth. Now that I finally got them all straight and nice, I want to make sure it's not one of those embarrassing like broccoli or spinach situations here, the infamous one. Looks like we've got a lot of people asking questions in chat, so thank you all. We've got about 50 minutes left. So again, we'll be doing the rest of the readings as random lottery. Unless you do send in a donation, we'll put you right at the top of that list here. Otherwise, you know, it's a sort of a winning situation here. If we call on your number, I'll be using my little random number generator here. And if you win, you win. I don't know. I always find it exciting to win stuff like that. In my youth, I never really won things. And then as I got older, for some reason, maybe it was just my energy finally sinking into itself, that all of a sudden these random things just started winning sweepstakes and random things. I was like, oh, thank you, universe. Like, I guess I'm in the right place at the right time. Thanks. So I like that feeling. I like to share that with you all too. So hi, Jeanette. Welcome. Hey, Olga. Will, what's up, man? JJ, Mini-Me. Hello, everybody. Excited to read with some of you. I can feel your energy already. A lot of you are coming in pretty clear, but that makes sense. It's a full moon and everybody's feeling that intensity. I was sitting last night at a beach with my sister and we were just sitting there enjoying the full moon coming like over the not the lake. Well, it was the harbor. And you could just see all this beauty. This giant ship rolled in and this kind of the moonlight was reflecting off the water and these guys were playing music. And it was some local Hawaiian people. And it was just the most beautiful vibe. I was sitting in such a beautiful vibe. Let me see if I can just show you all a picture. I'm sure you would appreciate it. I've taken some amazing pictures, but I haven't really shared anything anywhere. But this one of just the moonlight cascading. Let me see if you can see that. The moonlight cascading over the water. It was just gorgeous. You can kind of see it. I'm trying to get all the other reflections over here, but it was just a beautiful scene, and that moon is just so big and bright. Just so much love. So hopefully you all are getting out there and just basking in the glow of the moonlight. I think it's exactly full. I think it just was an hour or a few hours ago. So that means it'll be quite big tonight.
The moon?
Yes.
We have a bunch of cloud here in our beautiful city.
Oh, man.
I'm hoping it'll come out. I'm hoping we'll be able to see it. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We will see. All right. I guess we're going to the number generator. Is that right, Michelle?
All right. And how many people do we have all together right now?
Right now we are 1 to 5. So I'll let you take
1
it
to
from there,
5.
Brandon.
Okay. Perfect. All right. So out of the 5, let's do a random number generator. We might be able to get to everybody depending,
Yeah.
but you know, Kathy and I can be long-winded sometimes.
No. Who? Us?
What? Who? What?
What?
How?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Considering our average phone call, even just you and I, is like 3-4 hours. Anytime it feels like it's under 2 hours, I'm like, oh gosh, that was so short. Is everything okay? Like,
I know. It's like, I'm just gonna call quick. Okay. Yeah. I'm
oh
just gonna
yeah,
my
Kathy, I
calendar.
just need
Hang
to call
on.
for
Hang
just
on.
a second. This
It's just a
always
quick
happens.
call.
All right,
Oh.
let's see who we've got first. Going to be number 5.
Yay.
Who's number 5?
Awesome. Okay, so number 5 is Olga. She's asking about Kevin, who is a Taurus. She would like to know more about the future relationship she will have with Kevin. Olga is also a Virgo.
All right.
And he's a Taurus. Okay.
Earth sign.
You know what the interesting thing is? Okay, so the first thing I'm actually getting in regards to your relationship, even though you both are earth energies, and I do feel individually you can be quite grounded individually, I do feel there can be sometimes clashes with the personality between the two of you. So, and when I talk about clashes, I don't mean that the two of you are fist fighting or, anything along that line, or even really particularly arguing. I feel like Kevin is a little bit more free-spirited possibly than you are. And he can be a little bit more individualistic, I suppose, in some of his ways than you are. And it doesn't mean that you're not an individual. I feel like you have stronger boundaries within yourself, Olga. Like, I feel like for you, there's a sense about you, which I really like, which is like, this is me. This is, like, don't cross my boundaries. Don't step on my toes. Like, I'm going to call you out, and I love that energy because it's very strong. This is what I get from you. I do feel like sometimes for him, he can kind of, I don't want to say he crosses the boundaries, but he can. But I don't think he's doing it on purpose. But there is that, sometimes that sense maybe where he's kind of just, I don't know, doing something dumb, maybe. I don't know. That's probably the best way to say it. I feel like this could be a very strong relationship going into the future with you guys. But I do feel that that individuality is going to be important. It's like there has to be, I feel like there needs to be within this relationship understanding. I almost want to say, like, and I've used this word before, that love language, is understanding each other, like understanding Kevin as an individual and allowing him to understand you as an individual. And with that, this is going to really grow. I'm not sure what you were picking up, Brandon.
I pick up that sense in Kevin, and it seems like there is more of that. I see what you mean, that whole kind of freer spirit a little bit. And when I look at the energy between the two of you, Olga, you and Kevin, right away I am feeling this sort of need to communicate at a higher frequency, a higher energy. And Spirit keeps showing me that it feels like some form of play that's trying to be established in your connection. And there's this idea of daydreaming or getting into fantasy together. Now, I don't know if you feel resistant to this, or you feel like that's not important or necessary, or if you're the one that's trying to push it, because Spirit keeps showing me your energy kind of put right in the middle of it. So I don't know if you're being subjected to it or if this is your idea, but I can tell you, when I look into Kevin here, there's this feeling of him like ready to move his anchor, if that makes sense. It's like he feels like he needs some sense of exploration, or needs to find something unique or different or new. And I'm not talking about your relationship. I'm talking about him and his environment and his experience. Like, he needs something to it feels like take his mind into a new place. And when I ask Spirit what's to come in the future, they are showing me that, there's this feeling of him like ready to take on a new mountain. Now, it's not like this whole idea of like, okay, I want to do this whole thing to change my whole life. No, it just feels like an experience. And honestly, this reminds me of somebody who needs a vacation. Now, being in Hawaii, I know that feeling very well because so many people have that when they come over here. They're like, oh my gosh, I need to feel this. I need to disconnect and release. And so I've been seeing that energy in people quite often. So I've been able to recognize it. And it's somebody who feels like, they need something, they need a break. I don't know how much you've been affected by the pandemic over the year, but I can imagine a lot of people are feeling this way. And for whatever reason, I feel that kind of coming through with Kevin pretty strong. Like, I need this. I need to conquer a mountain. I need to do something. This is in no way reflecting on the nature of your relationship, but it would if you were to hold him back from doing it, or if you were to be suppressive in any way for that need. It's not a need to explore other people. It's a need to explore a connection with the self to the world and the lands and the people around. Being a Taurus, you have heard me say those things in the beginning of the show, so I know myself that kind of feeling and that energy. So there needs to be a sense of exploration. I feel like, again, it's going to serve your connection absolutely well. But if you were to suppress it or push it away or tell him he can't do it or anything like that, that would not bode well for the connection. That would be a little bit of a difficult part.
This is why I feel like that individual energy is really important between the two of you. It just feels like you have to be in this place where you see them as they are, like understanding, the quirks, or understanding, what makes each other happy, understanding, just the different aspects of each other as individuals, in order to really bring this together and have that unity. That is, there's that sense of duality, but the sense of individuals as well. And I feel like that could be, so strong within that energy. It's hard to explain to some degree. I think Brandon really summed it up nicely, in that aspect. What I do feel, I think you're kind of wondering, because you had mentioned long distance, and will you meet? I do feel that you guys will find a way to get together to meet. Again, I feel like maybe the first day or so, it might be a little bit, exploratory, I guess, would be the best way to say it. I don't know if this is particularly on an intimate level, but I do feel like you're really trying to, get to know each other in several ways. But then it almost feels like, okay, I do feel this. It's sort of like this energy of going, is this somebody that I can see myself in the future with? And there might be this point where you need to spend a day or so kind of looking in, like you're seeing the person as somebody that you haven't quite seen before. But once you really look into that, I feel like you following your intuition is going to be the strongest point of this relationship. Okay. It's going to really help elevate this relationship by following by following your feelings, by following your intuition, by following the guidance. It almost feels like I said, I do feel a little bit of quirky in there, with him. Like he might be a little quirky, or he might be a little bit, because I feel like you're very grounded. That's what I keep getting. I feel like you're very grounded. He might have some in your, things that you're kind of looking at and going, I'm not sure. But then you'll find that once you release that, I feel like you're going to be very drawn to him, and him you, when the two of you are together. It's like your individual aspects are going to be beautifully brought together. So I hope that this helped.
Yeah, I agree with you there, Kathy, because when I ask the nature of the relationship in the future, I keep being shown opportunities constantly unlocking. And so that always means that it's able to get to the next steps. So
Right.
far as, you keep up this energy and where you are now and don't throw on any masks or egos or past trauma, etc. So far as where the energy is now, it's just like it keeps unlocking each next phase of the relationship. So it feels like a good energy here, Olga.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I do like this energy. I just feel like you it's like you have to let go of what you know. I don't know how to explain that. Like let go of the things that that right now, or that maybe particularly within you. Sometimes we have a set mindset, and I feel like you need to just let go of that and kind of just go with the flow on this, right? Like look at it.
You will definitely bring that out of her for sure.
Right?
He will
That's
force
what I keep getting.
He will force her to go with the flow. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You either got to be cool with it or you ain't gonna stick around for it.
Yeah, and I feel like, and I love what
She says that
said.
there.
She says it makes sense to her.
Yeah.
I appreciate the space. I don't plan to change him. We'll stay positive. That right there, that's the attitude that is going to bring the two of you very, very far with each other. That's what I keep getting. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
beautiful. Thank you, Olga.
Yeah. I hope it's helped.
All right. Who is up next, Michelle?
All right. So right now we have questions 1 to 8, or go 1 to 7. And so I'll let you go ahead with the lottery there, Brandon. Let me know.
Did I see we have any kind of new donations here in the chat?
Oh, yeah, we do. Jeanette. I actually did not get her question yet, I believe. Jeanette, can you post us your question as well as your sun sign?
I'm seeing a question from Jeanette Valencia Gaber.
Oh, I think she sent the question with oh, I meant, no, hang on. Let me just find it now.
Did you confirm the donation, Kathy?
We did get the donation. I'm just
awesome. Thank you, Jeanette.
Thank you so much. I'm just trying to see if I can find her question on here, because you know how PayPal can be.
Yes. That's okay.
No, I don't think she did send it. That was actually no. She didn't send the question. So I don't. Yeah, if she can send her question, that would be great.
Oh, Jeanette's question, what will happen for me after graduation? I just see it here now.
Oh, okay.
And Taurus.
Oh, and Jeanette is a Taurus. Okay, cool. Lots of Tauruses today. I love it.
Lots of Tauruses.
Not bam.
Actually, the last couple of times we've had Tauruses.
True.
Capricorn was last week. No.
Capricorn.
Capricorn was like last week or the week before. I can't remember. There was a lot of Capricorns.
That's so cool. Yeah. It's so cool we can see this trend like this.
Okay, what will happen after graduation? Jeanette, is this college or is it like a high school, or is it, what kind of graduation is this? If you can just specify for that for me, if you don't mind. Because I'm feeling, it's interesting. I'm feeling a little bit of a break. This could be like a summer break, or, it could be, maybe you're deciding that you want to travel a little bit, or, see something, but college. Okay. College graduation. It's interesting. I'm seeing a lot of resumes going out, or paperwork. Okay. I don't want to say resumes. I want to say paperwork. A lot of paperwork that's being given out. I feel a lot of enthusiasm from you. I don't know if you're planning on taking a little bit of break after college. Like what, I don't mean like a long, long time, but it almost feels like maybe there's a month in there or a couple of months, 2 or 3 months, something like that, where you might be more working on yourself, maybe going on a vacation, traveling. It even could be just something small, but I do see a lot of paperwork, paper. And I keep getting a position coming almost, I don't want to say immediately, but immediately from this paperwork that's going out. So it feels like the first set of paperwork, whether this is resumes or applications or contracts of some sort, that's what I feel. It's like something is coming in from the first set of paperwork that gets sent out. Just give me a quick second here. I'm seeing something about trees. That's so weird. Garden, trees, like garden with Mamie. I'm seeing trees now. Why am I seeing trees? I have no idea, like literally a forest. I don't know if that has anything to do with what you took in college or not, but
That's so weird because I am too.
Are you
That's
really?
so
Like it's so
Yes.
weird. Like I'm seeing like a forest or trees, like tall trees. Like I literally want to say like a forest of some sort or something along that line. Like it doesn't feel like palm trees. Like this is like it feels like
No,
evergreens or
I keep
spruce
seeing
or
this like it reminds me, in Harry Potter, the Forbidden Forest or something. Like I
right.
keep seeing a forest where it's like there's so much unknown. Not that it's scary, but it's just there's so much that's unknown, and it feels like Jeanette is like walking into this space of, okay, where do I go? Which tree do I, climb up? Which one do I
Yeah.
connect with? And it feels like that's where all these letters are going, if that makes sense, being thrown into the void. That's why I keep seeing the trees, I think.
Yeah, it was weird because all of a sudden these trees just showed up like in my vision, and I'm like, what the heck is this thing? And it's funny because I don't think the trees have anything to do with the paperwork. Like they're not connected. You know what I mean? Like it's not like it's not about that. It just feels like there is I hear the word advancement of some sort. I keep seeing a lot of financial stability almost right away. Like I'm not getting a sense of being broke or being, a typical college student who just leaves school and is kind of like, what the hell do I have now? I'm eating craft dinner. It's not like that. Like I feel like the financial stability coming through very strongly, actually.
Yeah.
I want to say like November is going to be very significant. I'm not going to say that is a like when you get a job, because that could be, before or something like that. But it just feels like November is very, very significant for you in some manner.
Yeah, it feels very broad, the question, what's going to happen after college. And I mean, essentially the rest of your life, right? There's a lot going on. So I'm trying to just pinpoint specifically what's happening directly after when I connect here. And what I keep being shown is, again, I'm shown exactly that same thing of lots of letters or paperwork going out. I keep seeing lots of communication, but it feels like you're putting things out into the void. And I keep being shown that you are going to be brought opportunities, but they're not going to feel like they fit exactly what you are wanting or looking for, Jeanette. It feels like you might have to sacrifice or give up certain parts of your dream, your goal, your desire to work with these other people, or to work even specifically with other companies or entities. So that's a really big lesson, and that's a really big key point for what I'm being shown. Because let me ask you this, Jeanette. Did you go after your dream, Or did you go after what was practical in your college education and your career path? That question is really important because I keep being shown that there is an analyzation, this process of breaking down the components and elements of your dream, your ideal, your desire, work, and career path, and that you're taking bits and pieces of these elements, breaking them down, and putting them where they can go as far as practicality for your life. Data scientist. Okay, cool. Okay, so the breakdown, then that makes a lot of sense here. Why I keep seeing that over and over. It feels like you're going to be putting in these little applications or resumes or what have you, and you get to start somewhere that's not your ideal, but I think through the networking, that's going to be really, really important for your own career as it continues to grow. Through that networking, you're going to be able to land yourself a place that you like really want it to be. It almost feels like, I don't know, I hate to say it, I don't want it to sound contradictory here, what Kathy was saying, but you got to put in some grunt work and then you're able to find, the space that you really sink into. So I think what Kathy is saying is that you're not going to be without. I don't feel that either. But it might not be the perfect place you want it to be, but I do feel that you do get to have good positions. And I think this whole forest, Spirit keeps bringing that back up again. I think you're going to be finding something, like you're going to find a new way to make sense of something, some kind of component or something that other people do. And I feel like you're going to make some sense of clarity out of this, because I don't feel like you're a typical Taurus. You tend to be one of those that can find a way to think outside the box. And I think even as a data scientist, for whatever reason, they just keep showing me that you can get creative with how you find your solutions. And they keep showing me that you're going to make clear something that was unclear before. And I feel like that's going to be a really good credit to your own name and the work that you're going to continue to do in the future. So this really is just the beginning. And if things feel a little bit uncomfortable in the first, few places, don't be discouraged at all, because your path, I feel, is bigger than whatever these next opportunities are bringing you.
Yeah, it doesn't feel, it almost feels like, it's interesting because when I look at the trees, it's like a tree line. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it's not like right in the middle of a forest, if that makes any sense. So it feels like this tree line basically is telling me like you're at the beginning, like you still have a lot to really explore going in and going forward. And I really like what Brandon said. Like, this might not be exactly what it is that you want, but I feel like this deep sense of enjoyment coming out of it too. It's interesting because trees are really in this sense of just being and allowing, right? Like, they don't really have control over the elements. They don't have control over, the creatures that come and sit on them, all of this stuff. But here's the thing is they truly thrive, and they thrive because of the fact that they are just there, they're being. And I feel like through this process of just allowing that next step, go with the flow, allowing things to flow, you're really going to see a lot of things that not only is it that you want, but things that you need coming into your space, into your vision. And I feel like this is going to be super important. So I hope that's helped, Jeanette.
Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's a lot of need for data scientists. I feel like I've seen that job around a lot. And I think, especially in Austin, where it's a total tech world, that makes sense too, why I see that a lot.
Yeah.
So I know it's out there. I definitely know it's out there.
So I hope that's helped. I hope it gave you some guidance anyway. And perfect. All right. So the next one is Michelle. We did get a confirmation from Minnie. A Pisces wants to know what Gary, who is an Aries, their feelings and intentions are for Minnie. Is that correct, Michelle?
So Minnie is a Pisces, and yeah, she wants to know what Gary's feelings or intention are for her. He is an Aries.
Ooh, Pisces and Aries. Those are always interesting connections.
Yeah. There's a lot of fire, a lot of passion energy.
Lots of fire and lots of water. It reminds me of a volcano.
Okay. So I do feel that there can be times where Gary does have a little bit of trouble expressing himself. It's not that he has trouble expressing himself. I feel like he does express himself to the best of his abilities. I feel like Minnie is that sometimes you want more, you know, you want deeper. You want the nitty gritty of where he is within everything. I feel like he really tries. I feel like he tries, but there is a little bit of higher expectation I feel within you than he's really able to sometimes express himself. So what are his intentions? I feel like his intentions, when I'm looking, I'm literally seeing him see this as a long-term relationship. I just heard a message though, so just give me a second to put it into words. He's making a path that he wants to include you. He wants to include you. I do feel he does worry sometimes. I'm not exactly sure where your relationship is at this time, if you guys are like even really together or whatever, but I just keep feeling like there may be patience that needs to come from your side in regards to not only this relationship, but really him as a person. I feel like he is trying very hard to meet your expectations. He does have a very, very, very strong fiery energy is what I get with him though. A lot of passion, like passion for his job, passion for this, passion for that, passion for you, passion for, like there's a lot of like, this guy's bursting all over the bloody place. Whereas you're a little bit more subdued, but she says we're not together. So I feel like,
well, there's very clear energy between the two of them. I mean,
yeah.
You can feel that, like that passion. I definitely feel between the both of them. There is this sort of draw, this unconscious pool of attraction that they have together. Definitely. It's just his energy feels like it feels as hot as the sun in one moment, but distant the next. And I feel like there's a lot of fancy of the mind. Feels like there's a lot of, I don't know, fantasy or daydreaming going on here. And I feel a lot of pressure with him, whereas if you don't fit the fantasy, you can easily be, forgotten about. And that feels like one of Gary's, I would say, a flaw, even though I don't know him personally. I'd say that's a flaw because he doesn't give himself enough time to invest in with people. He can be so easy to cut, disconnect, or be quick, which is very typical of an Aries behavior. But it feels like he's done this to himself a lot in the past, where he's disconnected from people that could have potentially been a really great connection or relationship. And this feels to be one of those. It feels to be like it could be something that's really beautiful and passionate and balanced. And again, the very first thing I said when I connected with you is that energy of it feels like a volcano. The beautiful part of volcano, yes, it can be volatile and intense, but it also creates new land, right? And I feel like the two of you could absolutely do that. It's like you're creating uncharted territory for one another if you do choose to be together. And the issue is, where Gary feels he is. Is he going to be able to sink in line with following a sense of idea of commitment here, or is he going to be distant? Again, I do feel I am shown his energy is kind of doing both. So
I feel like with him, it's really interesting. I almost feel, I hear the words like, you know, you're the calm to the storm. But I'm trying to figure out the way to say it. He's very in and out. Anytime we get close, he runs. Yeah. The thing is that I feel like even if you're not saying it or asking, you know, as a Pisces, you want that deepness, you want the emotion, you want, you know, so and this is not placing anything on you at all. I don't want it to sound like it's placing something on you. I feel like you're very honest, and I feel like there's a directness about you as well. But I feel like to some degree you need to be a little bit more direct with him. I guess letting him know that he's safe to some degree.
That's it.
Because I feel like he wants to get close. But there is that element of being a little scared. He's a little bit, you know, skittish. I feel that sometimes he almost knows, like, honestly, his energy is erratic. Like, it's like almost, I want to say it's almost like chaotic. Like, he's just so passionate. He's just got so much energy. And I almost feel like sometimes he subdues it. Maybe not particularly, it might be around you. Like he's a little scared sometimes to show it. And I feel what really needs to happen is to allow him, like, just to let him know this, you know, this is a safe place. You're safe here. You can express yourself. I feel like the more that you're honest and that you're direct with your energy, it is going to help bring out that honesty and directness with him. This is what I'm also getting. So don't be scared to express your feelings. I mean, that doesn't mean like, you know, I love you and you're the best thing on that's ever walked the earth since sliced bread. But I mean, you know, express yourself. Like if there's something that you like, allow it to show. You don't need to subdue yourself, because he is not a subdued person. And I feel because he's got so much fire and so much energy, that if you're in a more subdued place, he really doesn't know how to express himself. It can kind of hold him back a little bit, because it's like he wants to come, you know, it's like the Kool-Aid man. Like literally he wants to come bursting through the door and be like, ah, but then you might be sitting there kind of like, you know, in a more subdued manner. And he's like, I don't think I should be doing that. Like, so I feel like the more honest you are, and again, this is not saying you're not honest. I feel that you're honest, but I feel like you can sometimes hold back. Like you might hold back on your,
well, it's probably out of consideration of other people's feelings.
Absolutely. Right. Like it's a holding back, of just not bursting through, you know, like there's that different energy between the two of you. Does he even want to express his feelings to me? I feel like he does.
I do feel like he does as well. But
yeah,
the one,
sorry, go ahead.
Well, one thing I'm shown is that Minnie is to create that space and that safe space, like you were talking about. Mm-hmm. And when that's created, that's when it feels like his suppression of holding back the feelings, it just gets eaten away more and more and more, the more he feels comfortable in that space. And at some point it is going to burst out, probably initially, but then I feel a regularity of like, okay, now I know that Minnie holds this safe space for me, and I can always come here and I don't have to let it build up like I have in the past. And so it's that safe space that Minnie creates is what allows that expression. But just know it's being eaten away at slowly the more and more you keep holding that space, Minnie, because you're creating something, not just physical space of, you can come here and talk to me in front of me, but you're creating this emotional and spiritual space for his soul to be comfortable as well. And that's how he's going to start to feel when he's around you, like his soul is more present. And there is going to be that idea of some kind of soul connection coming between you.
I'm also getting a lot of, this is an interesting energy that I'm really getting from him too. It's almost detailed, like detail orientated in some way. So like he might look at a leaf and be like, oh, the veins in the leaf, and it's such a, name the color of green, like he can be very, like he's passion. He's got passion. He's got all of this. And no, it's not that, she's asking, okay, does he have feelings for me? And it's not just in your head. It is not in your head at all. I don't feel that. I feel like he wants to express himself. I feel like allow yourself, and this seems to be a big topic this week as well, is vulnerability. And I was actually, again, talking to a friend about this. There is a video on Netflix that I think people need to watch, and it's by Brene Brown.
Brene Brown.
Brene Brown. What, I can't remember the name of, but just
The Power
Google.
of Vulnerability. That's the name of it.
No, it's not the vulnerability one. This is actually after the vulnerability one.
Yeah, there's another one. She does a talk.
And it's
beautiful.
And it's fantastic. And you got to watch it. Like it is so good. Watch that, because there's that difference.
Like, later.
Oh, you know what? I'm going to try to find it. Yeah. I'm going to see if I can find the name of it, but
don't have too much time left. We got about 15 minutes left.
Yeah. So, but I do feel like watching that, because a lot of people mistake vulnerability. Well, and it's funny because there's literally a quote from her series, or from this talk, where she says, being vulnerable is not posting your bikini wax on Facebook. Right? Like a lot of people confuse vulnerability. Oh, if I do this, I'm gonna throw out all my dirty laundry publicly. I must be vulnerable. I'm allowing vulnerability. No, it's taking a chance and being brave and really trying. And I feel like allow yourself to let yourself express yourself. That's going to be vulnerable. And I feel like with Gary, he can be very vulnerable at times because of that passion. I don't even know if he realizes that he's vulnerable, but he does not be vulnerable sometimes in his emotions. That can be a little bit more difficult. It's like his actions can be very vulnerable. He can be very passionate, but then when he has to express himself, there's a holding back. So I feel like when you allow yourself to be more vulnerable, he will come forth emotionally as well. So I hope that that's helped.
Oof.
Yeah.
Thank you, Minnie. Thank you.
I'm just.
Did we have any other donations, Michelle? Or was that the latest one?
Not that I've seen. I think that was our last donation.
Okay.
The Call to Courage. Brene Brown, The Call to Courage. That's what it's called. So I'm going to actually just type it in here. And I do recommend people watching it. It is amazing. Okay. Sorry about that.
Really, yeah, it is really good. It made me cry and laugh, like literally out loud.
Mm-hmm.
I audibly laughed. It was great. I just like that intelligent humor now. As I grow older, I'm like, oh, smart stuff. Ooh, that really tickles my funny bone now.
So I think we have time for like 2 more. And you're so welcome, Minnie.
See what we can get to here.
Mm-hmm.
All right, random number generator. Who will you bring? Lucky number 7. Who's our number 7?
7. So I don't want to say this name wrong. Magino. She is a Taurus, and she would like to know if her mother is around her, and if her guides have any questions, or if her mother is around, and do my guides have any questions?
Okay. And what's the birth date
Another
again? Or
Taurus.
Another
She's a
Taurus.
Taurus.
What is with
Yeah.
you guys? Like you Tauruses. Come on.
We are strong, dedicated bulls who travel in packs, herds. And the moon is full in Libra, which is the same sign, same planet as Venus. Libra and Taurus, they share the same planet.
I just want to remind everybody to also make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Okay, so make sure you've clicked the subscribe button, click the like button. It really helps, all of that stuff. Is your mother around? Yeah. Okay, so Miguel. Oh, okay. Miguel is your mother. Okay, so it's really interesting because I feel like there's this energy that's here. Okay, I don't know why she's showing herself here. Because usually, you know, they'll come in, they'll have things to say. She's really, it's almost as though she's showing up as an energy literally right here. And like floating a little bit above, like I want to say floating. God, that sounds so, you know, ghost like, and I don't want it to sound like that. I don't mean it like that, but it's almost as though there's something about this is a really weird question. Was your mother a big influence in your conscious decisions in some manner? Because I almost feel like you're just give me a second here. I just feel like she was there was a huge influence from her in regards to decisions, possibly. Did she also like I almost feel like did she die from a cancer of some sort? Because it feels like you know, it's like she's talking and I'm trying to grab it.
They're confirming, yes. Yeah.
Confirming, yes. Okay. Is that with the cancer, or that she was a huge influence? Like, I feel like she was part of that decision making. Like she was really there for you in so many ways. Like you might have really, you know, she was a lot of guidance for you, is what I'm
Very
getting.
strong emotional bond. Yeah, I feel that.
Right? Like it just feels so very strong. So what I get is absolutely she is around you. I feel like she, you know, okay, here's the thing, Miguel. She just literally told me you already know that she's there. You already know that she's there. You hear her, or you feel her, or that you experience her. And this might even have to do with the decision making, where you're kind of like, I don't know what I should do. What will my mom do? Or that you're hearing almost her voice. Like she's like, don't be like that, because you already know I'm here. Don't be like that. Like you already know. Okay. So like you already know that she's around you. You're just getting the validation from me. That's pretty much what I'm hearing in regards to that. Your guides. You know what's interesting? I've never actually quite seen this dynamic, because so when it comes to spirit guides, and then we have our ancestors, okay, that have passed over. So our ancestors are not really our spirit guides. Our spirit guides are a separate entity. They are something that we created like a contract with before we were even born. They're, you know, our ancestors can be part of our spirit team, but they're not our guides. And this is an interesting dynamic because of the fact that I really feel like your mom was freaking strong personality, because she's getting along with your spirit guides, and I never see that. Like, it doesn't mean that you know, people don't when they pass over, it's not like they're not getting along with your guides, but I've never really seen the dynamic. It's like she has like they converse, or they're on the same path together. How do I explain that? Like when you're decision making, it's like they very much agree with each other. So a lot of times ancestors may have a different idea or perspective of where we want to see, you know, our kids, our family, whatever it is. Like for the most part, they're pretty good. You know, you go do you do what needs to happen. But I feel like they're all working as a team for a particular guidance towards something, is what I keep getting. I'm not sure exactly what that guidance is. I keep hearing something about a vehicle. I don't know what that is. I don't know. I don't know exactly what kind of vehicle. I literally just heard the word vehicle. I don't know what that has to do with. That may have to do with you, and maybe this makes sense to you in some way. You can just put it down into the comments if it does. But I literally just heard the word vehicle, like vehicle, just like that. But I feel like they're all working together toward a particular path. And this is something that you may have wanted, craved, desired for a while, and that you've been working toward. And they are all there giving you that spiritual, energetic push. So you have like a whole team behind you cheering you on, is basically what it is. But you're hearing the divine guidance from her very strongly. You're already hearing her.
That's so interesting, because when I'm connecting with the mother here, what she keeps saying is that growth will take you on new paths, and she wants to remind you, Miguel, that your light is brighter when you connect with others. That, you know, your light can only be so bright on your own, and it's the connections and relationships that you form, and those are the things that make things brighter. Those are the things that make things more powerful and strong. And she wants to remind you of that for whatever reason, whatever moment of growth that you're contemplating and or transition you're kind of going through. Remember that that light is brighter when others are around and connected.
So I love this. So Miguel just confirmed and said, I've been wanting to transition to a truck. Okay, so that's why, you know, which is where I'm getting the vehicle from. So I feel like that transition is going to happen because I got the confirmation, you know, in regards to that. So it will happen. Again, I'm not getting any other particular details. It just feels like this is something that will or is supposed to happen for you, or you may be getting the guidance as to how to receive it. So crazy. Did you have any other messages, Brandon?
It was just that very clear energy she was giving me of like, there might be a tend to step away or be alone or disconnect from others and just getting in their own rigid path, but to remind and remember that you got to have those bonds with others is what she keeps saying. And I love how that came in, and you were talking about how they are connected in spirit and guide, you know, behind Miguel, that it's that powerful array of beings and entities that look out for one. And that's part of what you're creating here in the physical as well, Miguel.
Absolutely. I truly hope that that's helped, Miguel. And thank you so much for, you know, coming onto the show. Please make sure that you've subscribed, and yeah, thank you.
We'd love to have you again. Absolutely.
Absolutely. We'll take one more, I think.
Yeah, we can do one more here. So for those of you that didn't get in, again, you can book a full session with me on my website, thedreamteacher.com. Also, come into my Patreon community where we've got psychics and people who want to connect with psychics. Just kind of joining into this group. This is a place where we can all share and do stuff together without the insanity of Facebook. I've seen the crazy Facebook groups just going nuts with judgment and grossness a lot of times. So this is a place where it's just, we have a dedicated space where we can learn and grow and talk to other psychics and connect. And, you know, because there's people who will post things and I'm just like, oh, I feel this, and then I feel this, and this. So essentially it's like free readings in the group, kind of whenever you want, people just commenting and connecting. So I'll post a link here in the chat. It's the CCN, patreon.com / the CCN, but I'll post a link in the chat. So I'd love for you to join me there.
And for those of you that would like a reading with me, you can reach me at my Facebook page or my Instagram, Oracle Intuitions, and oracleintuitions.com. No, yes, oracleintuitions.com. I had my email and my website confused there for a second, but oracleintuitions.com, on Facebook, on Instagram, my website. Send me a message. We will send, create a booking, and off we go. I usually do video calls or phone calls, so it's completely up to you. They're always an hour long, and they are $85 US. So I hope everybody has enjoyed the show. We'll do one more. And who is up next, Michelle? Or wait a minute, I guess Brandon, you have the generator, hey?
Yep, I got the generator here. So that's going to be lucky number 1.
Okay.
Who is number 1?
Kay is number 1. She is Virgo, and she has a question. Will I be finding another job in the next 4 months? And if so, what will it consist of?
Okay, so I do see another energy coming in for a job. I keep hearing the number 2. This could be 2 weeks, 2 months. It's interesting because I had actually pulled a card earlier. I had seen your question earlier. The card I had actually pulled for you, because I really don't look into particularly the energy of what somebody's career is. I do believe Brandon said that you wouldn't mind looking into that, but it's just not an energy that I do. What I did get though is the World card, and so what this talks about is really ending a cycle with something and moving on to a new cycle. So I feel like there could be an actual change within your complete career, moving forward into something else. I feel like right now you're in this place of maybe perhaps choosing which path you're going to go to. What I also keep hearing though, Kay, is this is really the time to, I hear the words, let the oppression go. Don't find a job just to find a job. I feel like this is now the time to really choose that career, or to really find that path that you've been seeking. Like, I feel like you could be possibly at a crossroads. I want you to take a look, like as you're looking through, the options that you may have within your mind, or the things that you're going to be heading toward. What feels oppressive and what feels free? What is oppressive? What feels free? And really, sit in that energy. There's no need to make an absolute immediate decision is what I keep getting. It just feels it's time. What I keep hearing is it's time to let the oppression go. Let it go. So whether this is being hung on to by yourself, or maybe obligations, or maybe even, people that expect a certain something from you, it's time to just release this and actually follow your career. Follow what everything lately feels oppressive. Here's the thing, is following the path that is going to make you happy. And I know sometimes it's hard, right? Because we sit there and we're in this place of, what am I supposed to be doing? But start large. And I think we've talked about this before. Start large. So go into the general areas. What starts to feel good? Is it law? Is it health? Is it, secretarial? Is it CEO? Is it start large and then start breaking it down, and really follow that core element within you, and you will find what is going to feel really good for you.
I love that advice about the oppressive thing, because there's this feeling of either I'm feeling bitter because of what I have to go through, or I'm feeling better because of what I'm having to go through. And I that's what I keep hearing resonating in my mind here with the work with Kay specifically. And I just love that advice of, if it feels like it's pushing down in any way, it's just not the one that works. It's not the right one. It's not the full one that works. And I do feel like there is movement. Spirit keeps showing me when I tap into the energy, there's movement for new opportunity, and they're showing me your energy ready and willing to jump on that horse and ride into that new place of like, all right, let's do this. But it does seem like there's so many unknown variables. So I want to point you in one specific direction. they keep showing me an energy of lots of communication, and they show me you. I feel like it could be in the form of phone calls, literally talking to people face to face, writings, potentially mail or letters, but they're showing me that you're making clear what was once unclear in communication. You're able to fine tune something and bring it to a point of understanding. So, gosh, there's so many different even jobs and careers that do that. No, I'm not even talking about just interpreters. I'm talking about people. Oh, for example, like what's one, medical coding, right? There's a specific code that's said, and then you bring that information to the light of other people, or even stenographer. You know, they write in their own little code or something, and then they make it clear for whatever was going on. So that's the point: is that there's something that was, it's not extremely clear, understandable, or maybe it's only understandable to a certain select few people, and then you're able to sort of give this information into how it's supposed to come about. So that's the only specific energy that I'm feeling with this. But I would kind of stay in that line. So I'd really keep putting your energy out there, but I would look for something that is more geared where you have to communicate. It feels right, because it feels like you get to, you know, where Kathy was talking about don't feel oppressed. It feels like you get to use that throat chakra a lot more, and that feeling of truth coming out and direction, and giving people specific places to go, place their focus, their energy, or their own next step. That just feels right for what you should be doing right now.
She's asking, so a coordinator possibly?
Coordinator is that's a great example. Yes. Great example of that energy.
Yeah. She says, I think you guys told me in August something will come in. You know what? It could be before that. There could be yeah, because I feel like, I don't know, I keep hearing less than that. Like I keep hearing the number 2. So I'm not exactly sure what that's about. But it could come in before. I mean, energies can always change. It could be too that August is more of an advancement of some sort, or, you know, this could be just like a job that you're doing for now. And August is when the, you know, the actual career comes in, something along that line. I feel like for right now, just sort of work on what is going to make you happy. What are you drawn to? What is your core telling you? What is the next step for you? And I feel like that's where it's going to come in. You know, timelines can always change, and sometimes they can. Just nervous if I'll make the new. I don't feel you'd regret it. I really don't. Oh, okay. Told me about being. I remember this. Yeah.
Was it at the last place or the current place about?
No,
in the spotlight.
The new place, I believe. I remember this because the energy that I'm getting is a new move. Let me just focus in. Yeah. Okay, so what I'm getting here is it feels like I literally see a new move coming through for you. I don't know if you'd be staying where you are. I don't feel that this being a stagnant energy. This could be an advancement, you know, that might be coming through within this current position, but I'm feeling a new movement. I'm feeling a new energy coming in. I'm feeling I take my job seriously and I don't want to jump into hell. Absolutely. Is this new job in Tennessee? Because I literally
that's what she's
like
asking.
a move. Huh?
That's what she's asking.
Oh. I literally just seeing I'm moving from one position to a next position. I can't tell you, exactly where it is, but what I'm getting is a whole new direction coming through for you. Something that is going to be making you very happy. Okay. Like this is what I keep getting. I don't know if you have anything to add to that, Brandon.
The only thing I feel here, in addition, so if this question was already asked before and we've already answered it, what's going to be coming through, at least for me, when this happens, is either the same information or things compiled on top of what was already talked about. The problem is I don't remember the readings, so I give them in the past.
So I always look at
so it's hard
energies
for me
in
to connect.
perspective, right? But
It's hard for me to connect the dots when I don't even see the dots that were there anymore.
Yeah.
Not that they have disappeared. It's just that moment was out of my mind. Obviously, you're going to remember your reading more than I will, because when we do hundreds of these, in a week, you can't hang on to that stuff. But what I am feeling here is that there feels to be a new piece of the self opening up at this time. Okay, it feels like you're discovering something in you, and Spirit just keeps showing me this whole kind of blossom and blooming. Now, I would not, as of right now, the energy of you moving to Tennessee isn't something I would actually tell you to jump behind right now. It doesn't feel fully in the right place, because when I ask about this, they keep showing me that if you do this, you're gonna cut off a piece of your own sense of joy, your childlike sense of fun and wonder, a sense of innocence for yourself, and it won't be as playful right now as I feel that it could be, or maybe what you're trying to imagine it to be. So I would not advise making that move right now. Right now is not the right time. But I feel like for whatever reason, getting into a new place where you are now, it supports this process of being able to go to Tennessee with the right energy in the future, if that makes sense. So
it's interesting because I actually pulled out some cards for this. And what I got was the first one was the Prince of Cups. So this is really talking, I don't know if you guys can see it. I don't know, the whole thing is mucked up here. But so what this talks about is a new, like basically following your heart. Like this is a new emotional energy. You have to follow the heart. And I feel like sometimes that could be where the struggle is. Again, that oppression coming through. And it feels like, where do you feel like you should be? Where do you feel that comfort? Where do you feel that love? It's also really talking about individuality. Okay, that 9 of Pentacles. So, I feel like this is a time where this is, you focus, your focus. Don't focus on everybody else that, that are giving you opinions and all of that stuff. But it is showing here the 10 of Pentacles right behind that 9 of Pentacles, which really talks about being stable and having that material wealth, or having that material type of stability. It's a very stable card is what I get. I feel like I don't feel like you should just make a move because of the fact of making a move. It's very much like what Brandon said. Don't make a move just because, to move. You have to follow your heart. Follow where you're being drawn to. Don't just do it because of the fact, well, this might be cheaper, this is better, or this is that. Maybe put out the resumes first as to where you feel the comfort, where you feel that emotional bond to, whether this is within a job or a place, and then go from there. Don't just, randomly, throw it in the air and kind of go wherever it lands, because I feel like this is like a test for you as well, to make sure that you're following your own being where it is that you want to go.
yes.
So
Kay is saying, I have to move and I can't afford where I'm at. So like Kathy was saying, and like I'm saying here, don't move for the sake of moving. If you have to do something, then, follow what is best, follow what you think is best. I will say that if you're making this move out of necessity, it's not going to be one that creates, overall sense of we'll just, for lack of a better term, happiness. It will be work, and it's not that it's going to be miserable. It's just going to have a heavier, more dense feeling to it. It's going to have that sense of obligation and oppression, because it feels like you have to give of yourself just to be okay. So there is going to feel like that obligatory energy. So if that is what you have to do, then of course that's an obligation, and you're still going to feel the residual of that energy. It may take away some fun moments. It may take away some things that maybe you're dreaming or wanting. But over time, if you finally are in a place where you can stay for a little bit, this is where Kathy and I are really trying to direct you, because your soul is screaming it at us. It is saying, oh my gosh, we just need time to flourish. Like, we need time to be somewhere. Like, we need time to do this. And we can't keep listening to all these other masks that keep coming around. Like, your soul is getting annoyed with all the little ego moments that are just forced to come up because you don't have a choice because of circumstance. And so it's the circumstance that you really have to rein in and control so that your soul can flourish, because it is screaming at us, begging for it to come through. So that's why this keeps coming up every time you talk about career. It's not just about career. It's a search within. It's this internal moment of growth that intertwines with all of the work and where you are. It's time to feel that sort of root somewhere so that you can really let that open up.
Well, it's interesting that you talk about individuality, Kay, because of the fact that Nine of Pentacles, that's 100% that individual card. That is the card of being a strong individual, whether this is within, wealth, emotional, it's all encompassing. It's an all encompassing independent card. It doesn't mean that somebody's always single, but it means that they're very strong within yourself. And I feel like this is what they're trying to tell you. They want you to have that independence, that strength within you. So I hope that this has helped, Kay. Everybody, thank you so much for joining us. Michelle, it's wonderful to have you back. We're so blessed.
So thankful, Michelle.
Yeah. Anything you want to say to close up the reading, the show today?
Just enjoy this full moon. This is a really beautiful one where I think, we can really allow a sense of play. I really feel lots of childlike wonder coming out in today's new moon, or full moon, excuse me, and over the progression of the new moon, where we can really just allow a moment of play. It's like springtime and things are starting to really open up in lots of places in the world. And this is a time to really get back to those roots of, we are all just children running around here who have no idea what we're doing, just trying to make sense of it all. So sometimes that blissful ignorance space, we need that every once in a while. And I think this is really a good time to enjoy that during this full moon.
Yeah. Michelle, anything?
Oh, no, I'm good.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, guys. We really look forward to seeing you next week. And again, I should have these videos up tonight. I'm really looking forward to you guys watching them. Make sure you guys click, share our videos, share the channel, click subscribe. Thank you so much for always being here. It's truly a pleasure to be able to be here with you guys. Thank you so much for everything. Take care and have a great week.
Bye, everybody.